from a MORA passage. Now for the news in detail. Vice President Dr. Jagdeo has accepted that corruption does exist within the government system, but has posited that it is impractical for there to be effective monitoring of thousands of ongoing public projects. However, the Vice President has warned that when public officers and contractors are caught in corrupt transactions, they will be penalized. Vanu Manichand reports.
Currently, there are 7,000 government projects being executed across the country, and according to Vice President Jagdeo, it is impractical to effectively monitor them all. This creates an environment where wrongdoings can easily occur. To this end, the Vice President is calling on contractors to report any instances of public officials engaging in corrupt practices.
Please contact us, any person trying to shake you down. That is my message to people out there.
Jagdeo admitted that there are many cases in which public officers ask contractors for money in exchange for certain benefits.
We can't know if a clerk of work on a project in Blackbush Polder or somewhere else is asking the contractor for money. But the contractors have to understand that if they comply with this, they're not only breaching the system, they're doing something illegal. They should contact us, like some are doing this. Please contact the President's office or my office. It will be treated as high priority. Or Public Works, the Minister.
VP Jagdeo further warned that if government finds out any contractor is complicit in such corrupt practices, then they, along with the public officials, will be disciplined even if that contractor is found to be eligible on merit. The Vice President went on to point out that even in the housing sector, there are numerous complaints daily about persons being shaken down for money in order to get their house lots approved.
Please don't go to middlemen. Don't go, and there's no middleman here. Anybody who says that to you, you just bring it to the President's attention or the Minister or my attention or the tender board. Get it out in the public domain. Go public. Go public with it. That's what we need. Go public with it. I don't see it as criticizing the government if somebody freaks out about corruption, somebody trying to shake you down, and you put it out in the public domain. Then we need to examine, we will examine it. We'll examine it.
Reporting for the Evening News, Vanu Manichand.
Vanu Manichand joins us again to report that Vice President Dr. Jagdeo has disclosed that the National Gas Utilization Strategy has already been drafted and will soon be made public for feedback. Here is more.
We also have received the draft gas utilization strategy, and hopefully by next week it will be out in the public domain for consultation. This is something I promised. I said once we get through the first wave of reforms, we'll go in the gas utilization strategy and then on enhanced monitoring.
That was Vice President Jagdeo making the announcement at his press conference on Thursday. According to Jagdeo, the terms of reference have already been outlined for an assessment of the strategy's consistency with the new production sharing agreement.
How we're managing that contract from the ministry's perspective, whether there are gaps in data that they have to submit to us and how we process that data. And then once I have that kind of audit, it's not an audit but an assessment, we will then build in the structures to ensure greater compliance on monitoring, that is timeliness of data, timeliness of our publication of data, actual physical monitoring of the production. All of those things are coming.
Back in August, the Vice President had indicated that the focus of Guyana's national gas strategy would be exploring ways to monetize its excess gas reserves. In the Stabroek Block offshore Guyana, U.S. oil giant ExxonMobil and its co-venturers have found some 17 trillion cubic feet of gas, about a quarter of the 11 billion barrels in oil equivalent found. The Pluma and Haimara discoveries are proven gas fields. Currently, the PPPC administration is pursuing its model gas-to-energy project, which includes the construction of an integrated natural gas liquid plant and a 300-megawatt combined cycle power plant at Wales West Bank, Demerara. The multi-billion-dollar transformational project will see gas being piped from the Liza field in the Stabroek Block to Wales via pipelines that will be procured, installed, and operated by Exxon to the tune of US $1 billion. Based on studies conducted, Exxon will be able to produce up to 50 million standard cubic feet per day of gas for this initiative without impacting oil production activities offshore. Currently, ExxonMobil re-injects the gas in order to maintain the pressure of producing oil wells. Reporting for the Evening News, Vanu Manik-Chand.
The draft arbitration bill has been completed and will soon be presented to Cabinet for consideration, after which it will be presented to the National Assembly. Find out more in this Fiona Morrison report.
A modern arbitration bill is expected to be presented to the National Assembly next month, as government has completed the draft legislation following feedback from a wide range of stakeholders. Making the announcement earlier this week was Attorney General Anil Nandalal, who reiterated his hope that Guyana can one day become a hub for arbitration settlements.
Hopefully, we will be able to persuade companies executing contracts in Guyana or with Guyana or Guyanese companies to choose Guyana as the seat for the settlement of disputes by arbitration.
He explained that many of the international commercial agreements being executed in Guyana contain arbitration clauses as desired mechanisms of settling disputes, but most arbitration courts are outside of the country.
This bill, once it becomes law, hopefully will influence companies to change that approach and situate Guyana, or identify Guyana as the seat to do their arbitration.
Moreover, he explained that this will bring a lot of visitors to Guyana, boost employment and revenue in the country.
International arbitrators will have to come, they will have to stay at hotels. Witnesses will have to come, they will have to stay at hotels. So Guyana is going to be benefiting from almost every conceivable perspective.
Already, a number of local lawyers have benefited from arbitration training through the Attorney General chambers. The government has already established an arbitration unit which will liaise with the judiciary and key stakeholders at periodic intervals.
Efforts have begun to relocate a quantity of stones that were stockpiled in a property next to Red Road, Providence, on the east bank of Demerara, as contractors have already been mobilized to execute rehabilitation works on the thoroughfare that was significantly destroyed in an unusual manner yesterday afternoon. Pooja Rambran tells us more.
On Thursday, a bulge between 6 and 8 feet rose on Red Road due to what the Public Works Ministry determined was a result of the weight of the stockpile of aggregates on the extension of the parking lot of the stadium. During a press briefing on Friday, Public Works Minister Bishop Juan Edgel noted that 4 contractors, EC Vera Investments Limited, AJM Enterprises, XL Engineering, and Guy America Construction, helped to redistribute the weight of the stockpile to decrease its pressure.
We have since been able to arrange orders with contractors who need urgent supply of crusher run, and for today we expect to move about 9,000 out of the 30 tons off-site. There are 4 contractors that are actively engaged in government contracts that need crusher run. So we have our auditors on site. There is a scale in the compound. So everything is being documented, and that operation of loading of trucks and moving off-site has been continuing.
Some 150 meters of road were destroyed, as the total tonnage of aggregates in the stockpile amounted to 30,000. Guyana Telephone and Telegraph Limited (GT&T) and Guyana Water Incorporated (GWI) have been engaged to remove the fiber optic cables under the roadway and to ensure water supply is not affected. Minister Edgell noted that Excel Engineering and Gaia America Construction will be handling the reconstruction of this damaged road.
But even before this event, there was some development plans. We want to be able to execute a turning lane so that the traffic don't have to be backed up when you're turning, coming in, widening of the bridge. So I have asked my team to look at the possibility of how we can get that done at the same time while we're having this current inconvenience to execute those works.
As these works continue, Minister Edgell urged pedestrians to avoid using the roadway as it presents significant safety concerns.
The fact that people are still walking in and out is a major safety concern for us at the Ministry of Public Works, as well as the contractors that are on site. We would love to have a remedy where there could be an alternative. I guess with people coming from the supermarket and other businesses, they're still choosing to go to the East Bank Highway as against going in the other way. So we have to get that remedied.
Minister Edgell was unable to give a specific timeline for this project or an exact cost. The Public Works Ministry usually stores aggregates within the stockpile and distributes it across various government projects accordingly. However, Edgell noted that this Red Road experience is prompting the ministry to reevaluate the level of tonnage that can be stored in stockpile yards. Pooja Rembrandt for the Evening News.
Coming up, fire guts home of Region 2 RDC councillor, and cocaine found on board Matu was loaded at sea, says Kanu. Do stay with us. More news ahead.
Are you looking for men's suits for that wedding, prom, or special party? Or maybe you need to update your wardrobe with a modern fit or a new color for work? Search no more, because John Lewis Styles is the perfect men's suit store. Come see us on Waterloo Street, and our friendly staff will help you choose the perfect size, color, and fit. Complement that suit with a stunning shirt and tie, matching bow tie and suspenders, cufflinks, or even a pair of shiny dress shoes. You will love the way you look. John Lewis Styles. Simply different.
Audits are a routine practice for any business, more so in the international petroleum industry. These audits ensure that the expenses incurred by ExxonMobil are aligned with cost to recoverable expenditures. Guyana has been working to ensure that audits are done in a transparent manner, utilizing international and local expertise.
Welcome back. You're watching the Evening News. The grandmother of the 10-year-old boy who allegedly was burned by his stepfather last month says the child's parents are unfit, and she is blaming the Child Care and Protection Agency for removing the child from under her care, where he had been for years. Andrew Carmichael has this story.
It was on September 7th that a 10-year-old was reportedly burned by his stepfather at their Enmore East Coast Demerara home. The child lived with his grandmother from the age of 8 months until she was forced to send him back to his mother when he had turned 9. 56-year-old Marina Boyce says she was forced to give up custody of the child following the intervention of the Child Protection Agency. In an interview with the Evening News, the woman explained that her son and his wife lived in Providence with their 8-month-old baby and visited her every morning for breakfast. But one morning, they did not show up. This prompted her to visit their home 2 streets away.
Mine won me from 8 months to 9 years. When the 40,000 were paying, the mother come and said that the grandmother want to see the child. She come from outside, and we didn't agree, and we end up at the station, and then we end up at the child protection of here.
Just go back to see how is it that you got this child?
Okay. My son and her had a relationship, and so come we get to know the child, right? And I don't know what was the problem after, but she go away and she leave the child in the home where they were living at the end street. And the morning after I see them come, because they just normally come for breakfast, and after I see them come, when I go I see the house lock up, and I take down the key, and when I open the door the child was in the house sleeping, and I take him and I bring him over. And from since then I have him 8 months mine, 10 to 9 years.
Boy said after 8 years, the child's mother approached her and said she wanted the child for a few days as his other grandmother was visiting Guyana and wanted to see her grandson.
My son didn't agree, and I didn't agree for that too. And they end up at the station. I didn't go to the station. My daughter and my son went to the station, and they end up at the child protection place.
That was in Corriverton. Boy says the boy's mother and stepfather were told that they cannot have the child but should make frequent visits so that the boy can get acquainted with them.
And she go at the bigger side in Georgetown, and we had to go there. Blake come and tell me we have to go to town with the child. And when we go, they told us that we have to give the child to the mother because he have to know his siblings and those things.
Boyce said she was told that if she did not want to give up the boy over to his biological mother, he will be placed in a foster home. As such, the woman said she reluctantly handed over her grandson to his mother and stepfather. However, those arrangements were only temporary, as the Child Care Protection Agency ordered that after 3 days the boy should be returned to his grandmother for the remainder of the school term.
And the first weekend they go, he never come back until this tragedy that happened here, and nobody didn't tell me. We just see it on the daughter Morano there. She see it on the phone and she showed her.
It was reported that the boy, who was then 10, was allegedly burnt by his stepfather. The child sustained extensive third-degree burns covering approximately 30% of his body. Both parents were arrested for the act, but the child's mother was subsequently released from custody. On September 18th, 42-year-old Zabar Khan, a spray painter of First Street Falls, East Coast, Demerara, was charged with the attempted murder of a 10-year-old and also charged with felonious wounding of a 12-year-old. Khan was remanded to prison and will have to return to the Vigilance Magistrates Court on October 31st. For the Evening News, Andrew Carmichael.
A fire last evening destroyed a house at Queenstown, Essequibo Coast, Region 2. Kamesi Slow joins us now to report that the house belonged to Verena Rashid, a councillor on the Regional Democratic Council.
A fire of unknown origin completely gutted the home of Region 2 Pomeroon Supernam Regional Democratic Council RDC member Verena Rashid on Thursday evening. Based on reports received, the fire started at about 19:30 in the upper flat of the two-story wooden and concrete building located at Queenstown, Essequibo Coast. The Evening News understands the councillor is currently overseas, but her husband Adam Rashid and one of her sons Jahid Rashid and two of her other family members were occupying the house. Two persons were reportedly at home at the time of the fire. The Guyana Fire Service was contacted and arrived at the scene and sprung into action almost immediately. However, despite their efforts, the house was completely gutted. It is suspected that the fire might have been electrical in origin, but this has to be confirmed by the Guyana Fire Service.
Just don't be there, watch through the window there.
How far Javi there?
Yeah.
To prevent electrical fires, the fire service is urging persons to not overload outlets, to refrain from using illegal connections, to desist from putting electrical wires over curtains, underneath rugs, or pinning them behind furniture, and to plug heat generation appliances directly into an outlet, not into a power strip or extension cord.
Local documentary company Real Guyana is releasing a new film, The March Onwards, on Sunday. It seeks to explore the stark choices the indigenous communities and local farmers face as the BARIMA MORA Passage, the country's largest intact mangrove ecosystem, is set to undergo development. Pooja Rambaran has this story.
Real Guyana, in partnership with the Guyana Marine Conservation Society GMCS, with the support of Republic Bank, showcased the 25-minute documentary on Thursday through a private screening at Movietown Cinemas East Coast Demerara. GMCS Project Director Annette Arjun Martins explained that the film tells the story of the stakeholders found within the BARIMA MORA Passage Region 1, one being the Warao community, who've occupied the area for some 11,000 years.
The Waraos depend on everything that is found in the mangrove forest for their survival, whether it's the crab that they catch for their main protein source, whether it's the non-timber forest products they use, including for their medicine, the fishes in the river and the creeks. It's what they have been using for 11,000 years and what they need to be able to continue using. We also have other people other than Waraos that have moved into the area who also use the resources of the area, not as long as the Waraos have been using it, and in some cases not as in a sustainable manner.
Real Guyana has previously described the story as one showing the contrast between the indigenous communities who continue to engage in crab catching activities and preservation of the unique natural environment, and local farmers who have an opportunity to exploit a state-sponsored drive for large-scale agriculture. Republic Bank Managing Director Stephen Grell commended this initiative, noting that it continues the growing conversation on food security and conservation.
It really highlights the varying ways people value and utilize their resources in order to pursue their livelihoods. Economic development, as important as it is, it must be balanced with sustainability. The importance of this grows as we've seen record heat around the world through the month of September.
Showcasing the people of BARIMA MORA Passage, Grell said, ensures there is public and institutional understanding and engagement with the joint needs to conserve this unique ecosystem. Notably, the documentary was funded through the bank's Power to Make a Difference program that aims to encourage positive changes within society.
The power to impact lives and change fortunes for the better is why we make these partnerships. It's why we see it as a worthwhile social investment. It is our fervent hope that this production will raise awareness and ultimately add significantly to ongoing global climate action initiatives, gain national, regional, and international interest, and facilitate advancing the valuable contributions of the indigenous communities.
Pooja Rambaran for the Evening News.
Chairman of Region 4, Daniel SEERAM, was today granted bail in the sum of $50,000 after appearing in court charged for assaulting his wife. SEERAM is also an executive member of the People's National Congress, the largest party in the Partnership for National Unity coalition. SEERAM of Cummings Lodge, Greater Georgetown, appeared before Magistrate Alicia George at the Sparendam Magistrates Court and pleaded not guilty as charged. It was reported that on September 11, at their Cummings Lodge home, SEERAM assaulted his wife. Reports are that SEERAM had reportedly returned home from an outing and an argument developed between him and his wife. The situation escalated and turned violent, during which the husband and wife reportedly assaulted each other. SEERAM allegedly brandished his licensed firearm as well during the incident. Meanwhile, the court matter has been adjourned to December 8, 2023. Opposition leader Aubrey Norton, before SEERAM was even charged, had called for his resignation but later recanted his position, saying that his choice of language was bad. In March 2022, SEERAM was charged and placed on bail for allegedly threatening his father-in-law with a gun at Movietown. Meanwhile, the Customs Anti-Narcotics Unit, CANU, has revealed that the Guyana-registered vessel Matu, which was busted with 1,000 kilograms of cocaine at sea, had departed Guyana with the necessary clearance from the Maritime Administration Department. CANU said there is strong intelligence to suggest that the vessel was loaded with the cocaine at sea. Among other things, this intelligence includes the fact that, when intercepted, there was on-deck equipment that was used in the transfer of heavy cargo. It has been reported that agents of Spain's National Police and Customs Surveillance of the Tax Agency had seized some 1,000 kilograms of cocaine off the vessel in the waters of the Atlantic Ocean near Cape Verde. The operation was carried out jointly with the Portuguese Judicial Police in collaboration with the Spanish Navy and the Drug Enforcement Agency of the United States, which warned of the existence of an international criminal organization that intends to transfer a large amount of cocaine from one ship to another on the high seas. 4 Guyanese and 2 Albanians who were on board the Matu were arrested and have since been charged by Spanish authorities. And now for a look at the bridge reports.
The Demerara Harbour Bridge will be closed to vehicular traffic on Saturday, October 14, 2023 at 4 hours for a period of 1.5 hours. Meanwhile, the Berbice River Bridge is expected to be closed at 16 hours 15 on Saturday, October 14, 2023, also for a period of 1.5 hours.
Golden Jaguars confident of besting Puerto Rico tomorrow, and one Guyana basketball tournament will be in full force on Saturday. Details of these stories in the Sportcast, sponsored by MacCorp, coming up on the other side of the break.
Looking to bring your dream home to reality? Or simply taking on a home improvement project? Then National Hardware Limited is where you should start. Let us put that touch to your home. Choose from over 1,000 Berger Paint original hues for any surface. We are known for our trusted brands such as Westinghouse, Philips, Sadco, Rubbermaid, Pyrex, Gibson Home, and so much more. National Hardware Limited, your do-it-best store. Located in downtown Georgetown and industrial site Rhymeville.
Superbet, your best bet. Win with Superbet. With many products to choose from, winning can be endless. Visit an agent near you or www.superbet.gy to play your favorite games. Must be 18 years and older. Terms and conditions apply. Play responsibly.